Hello and welcome to the Comics Experiment, the show that's been going on right here at Comicstorian for about 5 years. Every Thursday I get together with these two and we sit down and we talk about something involved in the world of comics, be it a list or an idea or a concept or just basically goofing off and having a discussion about the world of comics. This films live every Thursday at twitch.tv/Comicstorian, where we also film our D&D games, our comic book review show, and do a news podcast called The Absolute Comics. It's then uploaded to all of your favorite podcast apps and to the Comicstorian YouTube channel on Saturdays, where you are probably watching this right now. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing at me? What did I do?
When will now be then?
Is now or is now then now? Or is now past now at the then?
But when will then be now?
Soon.
For those of you who have ever wanted to get into the podcast profession,
don't.
It's not hard.
That's true, actually. I mostly just spout movie lines.
Yeah. The trick is to just talk into a microphone for about an hour or so.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, G Fuel. Use the code COMICS at checkout. Get 10% off of your order. It's how I have this insane energy. That was off camera anyway, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. It's like no one can see that, but yeah.
And it's also brought to you by some of our new projects. Absolutely Marvel and DC is where Dan, I, Dylan, and Sal, that was how you say proper pronunciation, we're all located over at Absolutely Marvel and DC doing TV show and movie reviews. You should check that out if you got some spare time. It's basically this format of content on a daily basis. You can also find us on a brand new channel. The company started our third attempt at a gaming channel. Third time's the charm, right?
Hopefully.
Didn't you just end the last one?
Yeah.
And you
They technically fired us, so
waited like a week and figured you'd go again?
well, they fired us, so we just
I think we've taken enough time in between.
He went, we got fired. But we got footage. We don't want to waste footage.
That's true. That's fair.
So go check out Ben and Friends. Currently, the videos are Dan and I and two others being idiots in Grand Theft Auto. Dan doesn't understand how cops work. We're also being idiots in Red Dead Redemption. Dan doesn't know how the law works.
I mean, it makes more sense in Red Dead because the cops don't have like auto aimbot helicopters all the time.
All the time.
But apparently,
they do it sometimes.
You can't kill all the witnesses. Like, what's that?
I mean, to be fair, that's not realistic at all.
Our first game of GTA, we get Dan into it. He's never apparently played GTA. He gets
Ever?
the cops on
Any
him.
of them?
None of them.
And anybody who's played Grand Theft Auto is going to enjoy this because not only because Dan gets all the cops on him, and we didn't even use this footage because it didn't go to the joke we were actually working for that time.
Why let jokes happen naturally?
This became a short and some stuff. So, but what basically happened is Dan, because no one told him how the police work in GTA, assumed if he keeps killing them, eventually all the witnesses will be gone.
They got to be running out of cops at this point.
I figured it was Assassin's Creed logic.
Sure,
where if you kill all the guards,
there's
and
nobody
you
to
hide,
warn anyone else.
So we're like 30 minutes in, and me and the other two guys
Exactly.
have got the stuff from the heist, and we're just hiding in a parking garage waiting for the cops to stop. And then we just hear Dan, I got more of them! I got more of them! I got more of them!
Got to be running out of cops by now.
And then he said something along those lines, and that's when I went, Dan, they don't stop coming in this game if you keep shooting them.
It'd be funny if there was like a finite number, though.
right?
Like there's like 500 cops in San Andreas. You kill 500 cops, that's it. And then you got like a 30-day window where they got to get new hires.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, the best part though is everything after that. I just go, can I kill the cops yet?
So yeah, it's become a running
Can I
thing.
start shooting people?
He won't do it until I give him the clearance. So like we were playing Red Dead and we're sneaking in to steal a train and Dan got all the cops on him. And so the rest of us got on the horses and chased the train and left Dan as the distraction killing the cops.
Now with those ones, if you do kill the witnesses, you're fine. Yeah.
That one, I was literally just behind this table, peeking out, shooting a couple guards, going back down, and they're like talking. And then I'm like, wait a second. Where did you guys go? I look at the map. They're like a town over.
But we had the plan to get the train out.
I mean, hey, I helped them.
Anyway, if you want to see those videos and other adventures over there, which will be including Tiny Tina and stuff like that, go check out the company's gaming channel, Ben and Friends. Dan's not right. Long story short,
That's what the show should be called. Dan's not right.
We did have extra footage, started the
I
channel.
think he meant Dan's not wrong.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And we're just having a lot of fun with it. Now, today's topic is not about our gaming channel or our Absolutely Marvel and DC channel. Would love for you guys to go check it out or go visit our sponsor, G Fuel.
What is our topic today, Ben?
Unreleased Riddler projects.
Riddler?
Yeah, there's none. So Batman projects.
The unreleased projects don't exist.
That's the riddle.
The idea was never released.
If you get to say unreleased Joker projects, unreleased Robin projects, they don't
Actually, I'm sure there's a bunch of unreleased Joker projects.
probably
out there.
true.
I think there's probably unreleased Robin projects because he was supposed to be in like every Batman movie.
That's
but
true.
Then they always
we'll
cut
get
him.
to them.
Except one with bat nipples. And
That's
then
true, he
I
was in
think
that
they
one.
were like, okay, we should not try that again.
Or just the bat nipple thing.
Yeah.
Did you know? I only found this out recently, and because we've been doing a lot of stuff on Batman '89 and Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Originally, Marlon Wayans was Robin.
Yes.
And he was.
He's been paid for it.
That's
Gets paid for it.
Zill. He was fully into the contract. They had to buy him out of his contract and pay him residuals for as long as they're hosting Batman and Batman Returns.
That is-
because he was the Robin.
So
for that.
anytime it
amazing.
appears on anything new, he gets money for it.
What do you get paid for? Nothing.
He's like, this was great. He's talked about it in interviews. He's like, it's the best move I've
Oh,
ever
I
made.
bet. I bet that's basically Social Security for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they replaced him with Chris O'Donnell, and I forget the actual.
Well,
reasoning.
originally he was supposed to show up
Returns.
originally he was supposed to be in the original Batman '89.
Oh yeah.
There were
They felt
storyboards
that was
for
too
it. Yeah.
bloated.
Yeah, it was too much. And then he came back in.
And they said the
in
same thing in
Forever.
Returns. Like, oh, it's too bloated.
Yeah.
We'll put him in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, we'll go to the top of this. Fleischer Studios Batman is the first unreleased Batman project.
I believe it's
in existence.
Fleischer.
Fleischer?
Yeah.
Following the success of the Fleischer Superman cartoons, Fleischer Studios communicated with DC over the possibility of adapting Batman. The communication got to the point of budget discussions as illustrated in a letter dated January 25th, 1942, and reproduced in longtime Batman executives Michael E. Uslan's memoir, The Boy Who Loved Batman. It is, however, unknown how far the production of this project went before being abandoned. So that one makes sense. Not much to talk about it, but I do want to mention a quick thing about this. Did you guys know the story of who this Michael E. Uslan is?
I've read that book.
Okay.
I can't think off the top
I
of my
didn't
head.
know this was a thing until Sal told me about this. So around the 70s, DC had such little faith in Batman as a project, they let the trademark lapse.
Yeah.
Michael E. Uslan bought it and told
that's
DC.
what it was. Yeah.
Ever since then, if there's a Batman movie, he's an executive producer on it because he bought the rights to Batman in the 70s.
That's one of the best things I've ever heard.
He's on the latest one, apparently.
I love that we've just started and we've already classified there are two people that have done nothing for the movies and
always
make
get paid.
money from them.
What was your question?
I was gonna say, who's the Fleischer Studios?
So
I
Fleischer
haven't
Studios
heard of that.
was an animation studio back in the
Okay.
day. They did a Superman cartoon in the 40s.
It's that black and white one where he opens like...
They have in color ones as well. They're actually really good. If you've never seen them, they're a lot of fun.
It's very classic Superman.
It's classic Superman before he can fly and stuff like that. He
Okay.
literally leaps
The
tall buildings
leap
with
tall
it. Yeah.
bounds, okay.
They're a lot of fun actually. I used to watch them as a kid. I think they're on HBO Max.
I think you can get a hold. They're in places because I do remember watching.
And you
them
could
with
probably watch them on YouTube, honestly.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. But they're a lot of fun. They're like a classic style of cartoon. And
Would have been interesting to see what they did with Batman, though, because the whole idea of
Yeah.
the Superman ones, as far as I remember, was it would be like Clark Kent's in the Daily Planet. There's a villain, jumps over.
And then it's like he goes into the closet and you can see like the silhouette of him like changing and things
Yeah.
like that and then leaping out the window. Well, it's funny because Batman the
He didn't
animated
open
series.
the window.
Yeah, he's just right through it.
This is why you get window insurance.
The Batman the animated series, the Bruce Timm one, they based a lot of that on the Fleischer style
Okay.
of animation. Yeah.
So there's one more that I find to be kind of boring because it's kind of like, oh, of course they would have tried.
It was
that.
just something,
early
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, don't worry, these get crazy. I'm telling you right now.
I've heard some. They're a weird idea though.
And the reason they're on this list is these got greenlit at some point.
Yeah.
Like there were in discussions to make these into things.
That's the best part. Is these were actual ideas that were in the process.
This is another one of the ones that was early on, prior to the 1966 juggernaut that was Adam West and Burt Ward as Batman.
Which is fun for what it was.
CBS attempted to launch a live-action children's program based on Batman.
Interesting.
Former Rams linebacker and Tarzan actor Mike Henry was approached to be the character and even took publicity.
Publicity. There you
Still,
go.
thank you.
This is why we shouldn't record the drink intros for our Dungeons and Ale channel.
It's publicity.
The project went into limbo, and after much long stagnation, the producers attempted
then Majik
to
let it-
ironically sell it to
released
NBC,
it.
and they pass on the project. So it's funny that the first ideas for Batman though were to make a children's cartoon,
that's-
show,
yeah.
live
Well,
action.
they
children's.
had a serial back in like the 40s and 50s, live action.
Yeah.
that they would play before movies. So it was almost like an episode for TV, but they would put it before. It was only like 5 minutes long or whatever,
Right.
and they would play it before. That was actually the first live action Batman.
That's where Pixar got their shorts idea from.
If you, I mean, it's very similar actually. Yeah.
I think Looney Tunes kicked off that trend way back in the day.
But if you look at like the costume and stuff, it looks utterly ridiculous.
That's the one where it looks like a guy.
The ears are like going out at angles and stuff. It looks utterly ridiculous.
Dan, since you're the editor for this, find an image of that and throw it up.
I'll try. I'll try.
You keep going. I'll find an image just to show.
Well, the next one is the first original idea. Batman vs. Godzilla was a proposal that came out in November 1965.
That needs to come out again.
You got to think this would be in the era when Godzilla was huge. This is why he crossed over with King Kong, which is owned by Universal. If you don't know the lore about what happens with Godzilla, there's a company in Japan that owns it known as Toho.
I've seen that.
Or Toei. There is a company in Japan that owns the rights to Godzilla.
I think it's Toho.
Toho.
I think
a
it's
lot of the
Toho.
classic stuff that you know about, like Godzilla, Garfield, I discovered is another thing that's like that. They're owned by one single company, and their entire they just make everything
else
about
is
that.
kind of.
So anytime Godzilla's appeared in the U.S., it's been licensed to use over here. Now, what
the 99 or 98 one.
Yeah. Well,
God, that
the
was
story
awful.
of Godzilla is interesting, and I'm a huge Godzilla fan because Godzilla back in the day, what would happen is Japan was just looking for popular American icons to fight Godzilla. That's where King Kong versus Godzilla came from.
That's fair.
So it makes sense that they were looking at the idea of doing a Batman versus Godzilla.
I mean, if anyone could take out Godzilla, it would be Batman.
Oh, yeah. If he didn't get growing technology to become a giant Batman and just go hand
Or just
to
had a
hand.
giant
This
Batman.
here, hold on. They've got
Another
the
great
concept
idea.
down here that was originally proposed.
Okay.
It featured several characters in the Batman universe, including Robin and Commissioner Gordon.
Obviously.
They would battle the King of the Monsters. Batman and the sidekicks would have utilized several vehicles to engage in combat, from the Batmobile to the Batcopter to the Batcycle.
Hold on.
Interesting note is that the
I like the
concept.
Bat Cycle. Yeah.
The interesting note, the concept also featured the introduction of a weather control apparatus, an idea that would later be used for the script of Son of Godzilla. It was also going to have another device to control Godzilla himself, which would possibly indicate another antagonist pitting the two characters against each other.
The Joker.
Imagine Batman gets Godzilla and he's like, go stomp on Joker.
He's like all riding on his head. Yeah.
I'm just picturing like a Megazord, but with all the different bat
exactly.
vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was proposed as a follow-up to King Kong versus Godzilla, since that did so well.
Right.
They were looking for another American property to throw
Batman.
against Godzilla.
Not Superman.
But partway through the movie, Superman's like, hey, you need help with that giant lizard. I got it.
No,
I got it, Clark.
I got it. Leave me alone.
Now, I do want to
calling me.
state on this thing, it is noted that while this is listed as a proposal that was in the Godzilla hands, no one even knows if this ever even made it to DC or
Yeah.
what happened.
Right.
You know what I'm sad they didn't do? And then maybe they have, and I'm just not aware of it. Of you like the Japanese Spider-Man?
Yeah,
I wish they had like a Japanese Batman.
that would have been cool.
And they might. If there is, somebody let me know, because I don't know of it if there is.
And fun
Sal
fact,
probably knows.
because I've recently been on a more recent Godzilla binge again, the 98 movie did so poorly that they refused to let us use Godzilla again.
Yes, that is
until 2015, 2016 when
When
we
the
got
new
to
one
use
came out,
Godzilla.
yeah. 14,
that,
I think.
That was a temporary arrangement to just get Godzilla against Godzilla and then against King Kong and then that middle one, King of the Monsters, I think it was.
Yeah, where he fights Ghidorah.
They were allowed to do 3 movies.
Ghidorah.
During that period, Universal had a stipulation that they could not make a Japanese one. But there was a week window, 1 week, where Toho could technically release a Godzilla movie, and they did.
They started
that's
filming on
work.
Monday.
There's a movie called...
Well, no, they could have filmed it. They just couldn't release it.
They couldn't release it because they
It's
weren't
like-
allowed to...
it's
It's like they're
This-
making like a fan film. At
They're
that point.
like in the office. There's like this glass box. Break in case we're allowed to use this film.
So what happened is because they wanted to set up their new Godzilla universe, they're
Yeah.
setting up a new era of Godzilla where he's going to fight all of his own monsterverse. They filmed the entire thing, and the stipulations in the rules was that they could not put any promotional material out that would compete with the Universal
Right,
project in this window. But because of the delays on King of the Monsters, there was a week window. So what they did was they created Shin Godzilla and released it in 2016 for a 1-week limited engagement in Japan, and now you can get it on Amazon Prime if you want.
How well
any
did
good?
it do? Yeah.
Apparently, I have yet to see it because I didn't know this existed, which is
Sure,
why
yeah,
I
yeah,
fell
yeah.
down my Godzilla rabbit hole
Yeah, yeah,
recently
yeah,
again.
right.
Because I do periodically. Because I didn't know this happened, and I was like, when are we getting more Godzilla? apparently it did amazing and is considered better and more closer to the original Godzilla concept than the American take on it.
Which, I mean, that's not shocking, yeah.
So
I did enjoy those Godzilla movies, though.
I'm going to be buying it on Amazon Prime, Andy, if you'd like to watch Shin Godzilla.
I will, yeah.
I'm just waiting for a moment to watch it with Huey because we also know our
Huey's
other
Well,
friend Godzilla.
unfortunately, you've only got a 1 week window.
That's true. 6 hours.
But
That's it.
I Googled this because I am a big Godzilla fan. I've seen all the classics. Well, most of them. Some of those are really hard to get a hold of. But most of the classics, and I've obviously watched all the recent ones. And just recently, I was like, are we getting another one? Because I remember there's talks that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, after Kong,
Yeah.
They were like,
There's going to be a Kong sequel they're working on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is apparently leaning towards Son of Kong.
He's a little monkey. He's just a little monkey, and he fights normal people. Just like a boxing.
It's just a normal
Well, did you know that the Son of Godzilla?
Just a normal
Have you ever seen
monkey.
Son of Godzilla?
Yes.
It's
just a little Godzilla.
It's a little Godzilla, human-sized.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, they were all actually human-sized.
But no, but like he would be
In
with
real life.
humans. Like he was, he was that tiny.
I get what you're saying.
I mean, technically, there's all
They're just a bunch of dudes in
Kaiju's aren't
suits.
real.
That's my favorite part of those old ones. It's just a bunch of dudes in rubber suits.
yeah.
It really feels like something we would do. All right, Dan, I got you the Mothra costume. Andy, you got King Ghidorah.
Love it. Let's do it.
I like when they do like karate kicks. That's my favorite. part.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Those
so
are the best.
moving on to our next concept. Would you guys have watched Batman versus Godzilla?
Yes.
100%.
I feel like if that got made, that would have gone down
I
in
watched
history.
Batman Ninja, which had him in a giant monkey mecha. So yes, I would
hold
watch
on.
Batman.
Ninja was terrible.
It was
was
awful.
so bad.
It was so.
It was
but
awful.
Here's what I hated about
So
Batman.
yes, I would watch Batman versus Godzilla.
Here's what I hated about Batman Ninja. They couldn't just tell a story about a ninja that happened to want to become Batman.
Which would make more sense.
Batman had to fall through a time
Yes.
portal where apparently so did Joker and Harley.
The entire Bat family, actually.
Well, yeah, and then
'Cause we had Red Basket.
and then we had Red Basket.
Yeah. Oh god.
Then we had
and then
the
they
art
made a
change.
monkey mecha.
And then in the middle of it, they just ran out of the budget. Like, we'll just do this part as like a sketch thing.
That was
bad. I don't know who thought that idea was good. I would have liked the idea of basically just doing the Batman mythos in like ancient China.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Or if it was like we were talking during our review show, the Peach Momoko stuff, what she does with Marvel to Japanese folklore, that would be a great way to
That'd
do
be
it
great,
with
too.
Batman.
All right, so now we got ones that people know a little bit more about. They've been discussed throughout the years.
Okay.
Tim Burton's original Batman Continues.
Yes. Which
So
became
before we had
Forever.
Batman Forever, the Joel Schumacher mess that came out,
Forever wasn't as bad as Robin, but yes.
and I told this the other
Wasn't
day
good
when I was
either.
talking to the guys over at Absolutely Marvel in DC, because like Sal like adamantly hates Forever and Robin. He hates what Schumacher
they're not
did.
good.
Well, I just remember when we were kids, us loving them.
That's different.
Oh, I know. I said we were in that
had low
target
standards.
demographic.
Yeah, we had very low standards.
But we were in that target demographic.
Yeah.
I remember us coming out like we're Batman and Robin.
I think Batman Forever, I think we saw when I was 6.
Yeah.
So I was just like, Batman, man, it's awesome. I had no concept of what a good and bad movie was.
Right.
It was just a movie.
Yeah, about Batman.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
And had Robin in it.
So the original idea, the early development, during the early development of a canceled Catwoman spinoff they were going to make, following it was Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
Yeah.
Burton expressed an interest in directing the third installment of the Batman series that began with Batman in 1989. The Monkees' lead drummer Mike Dolenz was attached to star as the Riddler, the film's main antagonist. Also, Harvey Dent's transformation into Two-Face was supposed to occur in the film, with Billy D. Williams reprising his role as Dent from the first
would have
film.
been cool.
Yeah. After turning down the offer to appear in Batman Returns. Along with these, Michelle Pfeiffer was attached to return as Catwoman. Marlon Wayans was going to be Robin, which is why I said the little bit of lore with that. Right. And Rene Russo was going to be Dr. Chase Meridian. However, Warner Brothers observed the script as just too gloomy. It was too gloomy.
People are not able to handle this good of a movie.
It was as gloomy as the
they-
previous film, and they wanted to put Joel Schumacher on to
Yeah.
kind of liven it
They
up.
ran into a lot of issues with Tim Burton's Batman Returns and the lack of ability to make toys.
Yeah.
That's realistically what it was. It was actually a really big deal with, I think the big deal was McDonald's. They couldn't make the toys to put in the Happy Meals.
Yeah.
That was the problem. And that was a big deal. Again,
That was a
apparently
big
they-
deal because back
Yeah.
then, like the Happy Meal toys were actually like
they were,
quality.
and they were like huge. So
Yeah.
that was a very large deal. That, and I think it was Hasbro or one of those action figure companies
Right.
was like, we can't make toys off of this crap.
Yeah. Well, it's been a
Joker is biting people, or not Joker, Penguin is biting people's noses off. I can't make a toy about that.
I'm glad that we've moved beyond that mentality.
I am too,
But
yeah.
for like 20 years of a movie, it's featuring
It was a
superheroes,
lot based off of what
cartoon
toys
suit.
they
Like
could make, yeah.
notoriously, Young Justice and Teen Titans got shut down because they weren't producing or selling toys.
Yeah.
And to this day, no one knows how true those rumors are, but they were at least mentioned. We do know Batman Returns was that was the reason they had a problem with that.
That's like well documented.
Yeah. So it became a problem for almost 20 years that superheroes are meant to sell toys to kids.
Yeah.
And I like that more in the modern day. We're able to just like, while there will be a Marvel...
Because now there's like 30-year-olds who buy toys.
Yeah.
So,
well, I was like, well, we'll probably get a Marvel Legends
Definitely
Moon
not
Knight.
the people on the set right now.
We totally didn't buy stuff on the way to work today.
I mean, I didn't, to be fair. And I don't have like
There's a Venom
8 Batman
T-Rex over there.
Legos at my house right now.
There's a Venom T-Rex over there, and I have the Batmobile from the new movie at my
I've
house.
got like 5 Lego Batmobiles at my house right now.
Andy's got like a pretty impressive Batmobile collection that he hasn't
I just
built.
started buying a lot of Batmobiles.
Did you ever find the wheels to the one I gave you?
I did, yeah. I bought it.
I
I
built-
actually ordered off a Lego. I didn't know you could do that.
I got
individual wheel.
Yeah, it was like $5.
I bought the
then.
Batman Returns Batmobile, and then Houston
89
built it,
Batmobile.
and I had it sitting out for a little while. But when we were moving houses and everything, it kind of got
No,
shoved.
he started to build it.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I started to build. He didn't.
Yeah.
I started to build it, but it was a very complex thing, and that was right in the middle of the move and everything else. So I just let Andy take the whole box home, and he built it, and it was missing a wheel.
I was like, I miss a wheel. So, yeah.
Well, it's because
my Batmobile lost a wheel.
I was gonna say it's the holiday edition, and then the Joker got away.
And he calls me up, and he's like, "Ben, do you know where the wheel is?" And I'm
You're
like,
no,
I really
bro.
doubt it. Have you considered just tilting it so you can't see that wheel?
It's just what I did for the longest time.
It's the,
All the
secret
photos are-
Jason Todd edition.
Oh, that would have been good. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
All right, so next up, there was a proposed 5th movie of Batman, Joel Schumacher's Batman universe.
Yes.
Batman Unchanged.
Unchained?
Unchained.
I was like, who comes up with these names?
Batman Unchanged. He's the same.
So you had the Batman, and you had Batman Returns, and then you had Batman Forever, and then you had Batman and Robin.
Yes.
And they
Which
were
are
going
technically supposed to all be in the same
well, the same
universe.
Alfred, the same Robin.
Yeah.
This,
I was going to say, even though the last two are so tonally different, they are
Yeah.
supposed to be in the same universe.
So what ended up happening was during the filming of Batman and Robin, Warner Brothers was impressed with the dailies, prompting them to immediately hire Joel Schumacher to reprise his directing duties for a 3rd film.
Who was working at Warner Brothers at that point? no, these are solid.
These are the
Pulls
best.
out a credit card. Look at all the ice puns. Oh my
They
god.
projected
so
a
good.
mid-1999 release date, and Los Angeles Times described their film as continuing in the same vein with multiple villains and more silliness. Schumacher, however, later claimed that the film would be darker and closer in tone to the first 2 films in the series. Titled Batman Unchained, but often incorrectly referred to as Batman Triumphant. The script had Scarecrow as the main villain, and the Joker would return as a hallucination in Batman's mind caused by fear toxin. Harley Quinn would appear as a supporting character, written as the Joker's daughter, trying to kill Batman to avenge her father's death.
Sure.
The film would have depicted the Scarecrow and Harley
That's actually
Quinn.
not a terrible
That's
idea.
actually
yeah.
kind of decent. Yeah,
That's
I like
not a terrible idea, yeah.
The film would have depicted Scarecrow and Harley Quinn teaming up to drive Batman insane and have him committed to Arkham Asylum. After their defeat, the film would have ended with Bruce Wayne traveling to Bali, entering a cave where he allows himself to be swarmed by bats to symbolize that he conquered fear.
Obviously.
Clooney, O'Donnell...
And he goes through the city just being flown by these bats.
That would be awesome.
Stop your crime. I have mastered the bats.
He's a vampire.
They were going to get George Clooney, Chris O'Donnell, and Alicia Silverstone to reprise Batman, Robin, and Batgirl.
No.
And they approached Nicolas Cage to be Scarecrow.
You
I
know
would
what?
watch the shit out of that.
Could you imagine?
Even that, I would have taken all.
That's bad!
I would have taken all of that awfulness just to watch Nick Cage as the Scarecrow.
Scarecrow. To steal the Declaration of Independence.
He was going to make an appearance in Batman and Robin to set up Unchained, but ultimately
After credit scene.
before they ultimately casted Coolio. I don't remember Coolio being in Batman and Robin.
I do.
He was apparently going to be Scarecrow.
I did not know that. I don't think they ever mentioned him as Jonathan Crane. Although, God, I wish they did.
Did they just call him Coolio?
Yeah, Jonathan Coolio.
The 5th film would have likely appeared 18 months to 2 years after the 4th. Batman and Robin received
Wow.
negative reviews, though, and failed to outgross any of the predecessors. And a $150 million Superman film was canceled 3 months before shooting began, so Warner Brothers was unsure about its plans for the 5th movie. They lost $150 million to a Superman film that they canceled.
Yeah, the one with Nick Cage.
Once
just
again.
in all roles.
Oh no, I think that was earlier because that was.
I do think that was the. I think that was the Kevin Smith one.
No, that was a Tim Burton one.
Oh,
Tim
was it?
Burton was going to do a Superman movie. And
was
it got
he?
to the
That's
point.
right.
There's actually footage of like Nick Cage in the costume.
I remember
I
that.
would watch that.
Yeah, that would be
Even if it's
awesome.
just the footage that they did, no editing whatsoever.
I think Kevin Smith did a documentary on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
How
make
crazy
sense.
it was with
Yeah.
the giant robot spider and
Yeah.
things.
Well, that was the one. Yeah, he was supposed to write. Yeah. Some of it. Yeah.
The studio decided it would best be that the studio decided it was best to consider a live action Batman Beyond film because I think this is right when that
I
was
do.
picking up.
Yeah, that was around time.
And
that
an
one came out.
adaptation to Year One. They would greenlight whichever idea suited them the most. Schumacher felt that he owed the Batman culture a real Batman movie, that he would go back to the basics and make a dark portrayal of the Dark Knight. He approached Warner Brothers to do Batman Year One mid-year.
I can't see Joel Schumacher doing a dark Batman movie.
We will get back to Batman Year One in a minute because that's also on this list. But there's also Batman Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like it's like Van Forstick where they put the
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Despite their interest to do Year One, Lee Shapiro, a comic book fan, and Stephen Weiss pitched the studio a script entitled Batman Dark Knight in mid-1988.
How do you say Fan Forstick? Just based on the way that it's actually spelled.
Van Forstick?
Yeah, because it's Fant Forstick.
Oh yeah, no, it's Van Forstick. So anyway,
I still haven't seen that
Dark
movie.
Knight
Yeah.
was largely inspired by The Dark Knight Returns, was going to have Bruce Wayne give up his crime-fighting career after becoming disillusioned with his alias's inability to inspire fear and mystique in his enemies. And Dick Grayson was going to attend Gotham University. Dr. Jonathan Crane was going to use his position as professor of psychology.
Played by Coolio.
Played by Coolio. Use his position as professor of psychology in Gotham University and head psychiatrist at Arkham Asylum to conduct his fear experiments. And during a vengeful confrontation with his colleague, Dr. Kirk Langstrom, Crane unknowingly would initiate Kirk's transformation into the creature known as Man-Bat. Citizens of Gotham believed that Man-Bat's nightly activities are Batman's bloodthirsty return. Bruce would once again return as Batman to clear his name and solve the mystery of the Man-Bat. Kirk would struggle with his man versus monster syndrome as he longs to both reunite with his wife and get revenge on Crane, while Crane exacts revenge on those responsible for his dismissal from both Arkham and the university.
Sounds like a terrible adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns.
I'm pretty sure they turned that into a comic that I read.
Most likely, yeah.
Because there was like a 6-issue Man-Bat series, and it's almost exactly like
So
that.
inspired by The Dark Knight Returns, let's not do it at all.
Anything. The only thing from The Dark Knight Returns that's in there is the fact that Bruce retired.
Yeah.
Clearly it's the same universe.
You guys know it is a brilliant comic book that we should take the most tiniest thing from. You don't want to have like the comatose Joker come back, start killing everybody, and then like framing Batman for his murder. Stupid. Coolio as Doctor.
There was also a Robin spinoff that was going to come out of that, but
Yes.
this is not about the unannounced Robin spinoffs. But Chris O'Donnell lost his solo movie after Batman and Robin tanked.
Yet he still gets paid for it.
That would be awesome.
Batman Year
He
One and
still
Batman
owns the
Beyond.
costume. He said that in an interview.
Does he?
He still has a costume for Batman and Robin. And they're like, "Do you put it on?" He's like, "No, I don't put it on." He's like, "I'm in my 40s."
That's him going to the Batman. He's like,
Batman Year One and Batman Beyond. In September 2000, Warner Brothers developed a live-action screen adaptation of Batman Beyond written by Paul Dini, Neil Stephenson, and Boaz Yatkin, with the possibility of Yatkin directing, as well as an adaptation of
struggling today.
I need water.
Directing. I'm gonna be directing this movie.
As well as an adaptation of Frank Miller's comic book storyline, Batman Year One. Despite interest from Schumacher, the studio amazed and pleased fans by hiring a different guy, Darren Aronofsky, to direct and co-write with Miller, whom he had previously collaborated on an unproduced script for Ronin. Yatkin developed one draft for Batman Beyond screenplay with the writers, but soon lost interest. Warner Brothers abandoned Batman Beyond almost instantly in favor of Batman Year One.
Batman, yeah, I got it.
They intended it as a reboot to the Batman franchise. It's somewhat based on the comic book. Toss out everything you can imagine about Batman. Everything. We started anew. That's literally the quote.
Literally, I've heard of this year one pitch. It's once again, it's like, it's a great comic that we should take nothing from but the name Batman Year One.
Oh, I hear this.
They had already hired people. Christian Bale was approached to be Batman. Coincidentally,
Oh, he would be awful.
Bale would then do his role in Batman Begins.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
10 years later, though.
Yeah.
At the
Which
same
is
time,
funny because when he did Batman, wasn't he in his late 30s? So he would have been in his late 20s.
Which actually would
Year
fit
one. I
for
mean, that would have
Batman
worked.
Year
Yeah,
One.
for year one. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
At the same time, Warner Brothers was moving forward with the Catwoman spinoff. For those who don't know, the Catwoman
eventually
spinoff, became the Halle Berry version.
Wow.
That.
Where they rewrote everything about Catwoman.
There was literally not Catwoman other than the name.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Not
that
even the costume.
Was that the one where she dies and gets resurrected by cats?
Yes.
That's
okay.
Returns.
That was
Well, no, it happens in the Catwoman movie too.
Oh, I thought it was different than that one. Because
Okay.
that one is an Egyptian god. That
Something
gives her
like
the
that.
power.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like through the cats. Because that tracks.
Yeah,
That would
totally.
be that would
Once
be, that
Bale
would be if
fe-
Moon Knight had like a Catwoman.
Once Bale fell off this
be
year
great.
one project while it was in development for the 3 years that they were working on it, they were talking about Joaquin Phoenix being Batman.
Ooh,
And when he dropped out, they were leaning towards Freddie Prinze Jr.
he would be better than Joaquin Phoenix. At least in like. At least in look, I guess, in style of because Joaquin Phoenix is a good actor, but he plays like really weird people.
But I guess they were fighting
Because I
for an
think
R
he's
rating.
a really weird person.
It would have been an
Easier
R
to get
rating, so
into
they would have just
character.
kept it going.
Yeah,
and they
right.
never made it. Instead, in
I want an R-rated
1999,
Batman. He just swears the whole time. He's like effing Joker.
He's like, bet F this, bet F that.
when that one didn't happen and they abandoned it because somebody pitched them the idea of
Like a
the
kid in
Batman
a
versus
dumpster.
Superman. Not the one that we got.
Nope.
This is the 1999 original concept,
Yeah.
which I think was supposed to be a way to bring Superman back into the movie fold.
I think so because he hadn't been around since the Christopher Reeves one.
Yeah, they hadn't done a Superman movie since then. In 1999, new Warner head Alan Horn promised 5 tentpoles a year. He wanted to revive the Batman Superman franchises as tentpole franchises.
I thought he just wanted to go camping. I'm not really sure why he keeps bringing that up. Every
Wolfgang
meeting.
Peterson was to direct Superman Flyby, and Andrew Kevin Walker pitched Warner Brothers the idea of Batman versus Superman. So Superman Flyby was put on hold.
Screw Superman.
And Batman Year One.
Screw Superman and Batman. We want him to punch.
So they have a draft dated for June 21st, 2002. So you got to think this was 3 years when someone said we should make Batman versus
They were
Superman.
all over the place at this point. Yeah.
Because Batman and Robin failed. Like,
Yes. So
it
they-
didn't fail, but it didn't do anything.
Right.
Like it was
So they were
supposed to.
like, we got to, because Batman was at the top probably one of Warner's
Yeah.
biggest things in comic books, cartoons, and all that other stuff. So they're like, we got to do something with Batman.
Right.
We just throw ideas. Hope for the
So,
best.
so they just kept greenlighting them, wasting money on the
Yeah.
production, and then throwing them out.
Yeah.
Sounds like they were just in one big office and just put a blanket statement. I need a Batman/Superman movie, and everyone's like, got it. Went off, did their own things. They're like, yes, greenlit. No, never mind. This one's better. No, never mind. This one's better.
Well, it's funny because that's how they
that's-
greenlit the animated series. They were like,
really?
They were like, these are the properties we can make stuff on, and one of them was Batman, and it was just like somebody was like, it was Bruce Timm was like, I got an idea for Batman.
It's a cartoon. It's about Batman.
Well, no, that's what
Right.
the animated series, and they were like, sure, go for it.
Hey.
And then we got one of the best Batman
Yeah, there you
adaptations
go.
ever.
So this 2002 version of Batman v Superman was going to feature Bruce Wayne having a mental breakdown after his 5-year retirement from crime fighting. Dick Grayson, Alfred Pennyworth, and Commissioner Gordon were all dead. But Bruce finds
Jeez, it got dark.
But Bruce finds solace in his fiancée, Elizabeth Miller. Meanwhile, Clark Kent is struggling because of his recent divorce from Lois Lane.
Oh God. This is like a when was this?
Early 2000s,
That
right when
tracks.
everyone is in like full
Yeah.
leather and everyone had to be dark and moody.
Everybody was all dark and moody and stuff, and like we're gonna make superheroes like real people, but like when we say real people, we mean depressed people.
So real people.
Clark and Bruce are close friends, and Clark is Bruce's best man. After the Joker kills Elizabeth on their honeymoon, Bruce swears revenge while Clark is holding him back. Bruce blames Clark for her death, and the two go against one another.
Him through the chest.
Ultimately, Lex Luthor is revealed to have masterminded the entire plot to get Superman and Batman to destroy each other, and the two team up to stop Luthor. Bale was then approached to portray Batman, so they really wanted Bale.
Apparently, yeah.
And Josh Hartnett was going to be Superman.
Oh, no. No. That is not good. Well, I maintain Bale would have made a terrible Batman, but Josh Hartnett would have made a terrible Superman. I like saying that.
The film was going to start in early 2003 with plans for a 5 to 6 month shoot. The release date was going to be summer 2004. However, Warner Brothers canceled the development to focus on an individual Superman and Batman project. So I feel like Warner Brothers at this time had worse ADD than me.
It does seem that way.
Because they'd be like, all right, guys, we're doing this project. And someone's like, okay, it's going to take 2 years to make. And they get a weekend. Okay, can we just do a Superman and Batman one faster? Can we
just do a world's finest movie? You notice how all of the projects with Batman and Superman have them bunging?
Yeah.
They can't just have them work together.
Mm-mm. Well, it's like that one Black Panther Deadpool book where they're like, okay, so is this the fight that we have with each other before we team up?
Yeah, well, that's true. That is a constant superhero trope.
So basically, they went on hold to make individual projects again, and that's when Abrams submitted another draft for Superman Flyby. So basically, Abrams was like, I got an idea for a Superman movie, and they're like, oh, okay, cool. So Batman v Superman is going to take too long, so let's go make Abrams Superman movie.
He's like, all right, Clark lands on an island. And he gets lost there.
According to Peterson, Alan Horn was torn because it was such a fascinating concept to do a Batman versus Superman film. He reportedly preferred Abrams' optimistic Superman script to the darker Batman v Superman script. Studio's executive voted 11 to 1 for the Superman script. 11 to 1? Wow. No one wanted to see them punch it.
Apparently not. I mean, that one was all like really mopey.
Many comic book fans agreed with David S. Goyer stating, Batman v Superman is where you go when when you have to admit to yourself you've exhausted all possibilities.
David S. Goyer sucks.
Yeah, but he's not wrong. I mean, they went Man of Steel, Batman v Superman.
He's like such like a terrible writer, though, that gets his hands in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Somewhat of an admission to this franchise is in its last gasp. Since the decision left the studio without a Batman film for 2004, Warner Brothers quickly sped up the Catwoman movie.
Well, that definitely paid off.
Can you imagine getting rid of Batman and Superman separate movies?
Sure.
Right.
Then getting rid of those to make Batman v Superman.
Right.
Then getting rid of that to make Superman and Catwoman.
Right. Which problem?
Sounds about right. Well, they were like, everyone's in leather. So who would look best in leather?
Superman.
Superman, Dick Grayson.
Halle Berry.
So there was...
That last one is accurate.
There was a sequel to the movie Assault on Arkham, which was the only true movie tied into the Arkham universe, I believe.
The animated one. It was tied in loosely, but
they were going to make a sequel to that. That got thrown out the window.
Yeah.
Because that was in 2016, so that would have been right around the time that Warner Brothers was like, whoa, what did we do?
Yeah.
Did you guys see that Justice League movie? Shit. But back in 2002, we're going back again to when they didn't know what they were doing, like they do now.
There's a couple of moments where the brain cells smack.
There was the
quickly go apart.
Well, then we get the Batman.
You're going to love this one. 2002, there was a proposal from Tim Burton to return for Batman, the musical.
Starring Christian Bale.
It probably would have been starring like, who's the guy that Tim Burton loves? Jack Sparrow.
Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp. Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah.
It was a
I'm
theater
surprised
production.
Johnny Depp wasn't in Batman, honestly.
Yeah.
It was a theater production. Steinman revealed 5 of the songs from this is now that we know it existed at one point. They had already gotten 5 songs written for it.
Because when I think The Dark Knight, I think musical.
Remember they tried that with Spider-Man?
They did. It was awful.
And the guys got injured every time they tried to do the stunts.
Wasn't that the one where like the thing broke and he was just hanging there for like a couple hours?
But to be honest, though, obviously in the MCU, the Avengers musical doing quite well.
This is true. This is true.
So anyway, the first is the opening theme for Gotham and the entry of Batman with his tortured solo. Batman would have a solo.
Obviously.
The Graveyard Shift. Followed by the Joker song, Where Does He Get All Those Wonderful Toys?
Oh my God.
Followed by Catwoman's song, I Need All the Love I Can Get. Followed by We Are Still the Children We Once Were. The climactic sequence.
We're all the child we once murdered inside of us.
There was
Everybody
also a
knows that.
song titled In the Land of the Pig, the Butcher is King, sung by the corrupt bloodsuckers ruling Gotham.
I hate that I really want to hear these songs.
Right?
The last song mentioned here is actually covered by Meatloaf in the album Bat Out of Hell
Hell
3, The
yeah.
Monster Is Loose.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
After the production was canceled, these songs were released on the Batman the Musical memorial site. So yes, we need to listen
All
to
right,
those.
we're gonna have to listen to those.
Oh, I'm going home
I didn't know
today.
there was a site.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Oh, all right. So there is a concept for a Bruce Wayne show, which I think turned into Gotham because I've actually read the description on this.
So
This was originally back in the 1990s. There was talks about them making a Bruce Wayne show, and the idea was basically everything involving the Gotham show because it was going to feature villains such as Riddler, Penguin, Poison Ivy, and the Joker, among others. Instead, we got the Gotham show, which featured Bruce Wayne, Riddler, Penguin, Poison Ivy, and Jerome. But
well, but Bruce wasn't the main character of that show.
right, well, and I think that was the tonal shift to make it about
Yeah,
Commissioner
yeah.
Gordon. But
And the GCPD.
But there was that concept about it was going to come out.
I actually liked the Gotham show for what it was.
Oh, it even mentions
bad.
that Gotham was kind of the same concept.
Yeah.
So there was Gotham High, which I do remember they were talking about for the
It's
longest
just
time.
Batman smoking weed,
There was it was coming out
fighting villains.
It was coming out in the early 2000s and then the early 2010s. The one a lot of people recognize though is it got a lot of headlines recently because it was during that list of things where everyone's like, "What is DC doing?"
Yeah.
And the concept was, what if all the characters for Batman are in high school?
Well, didn't they do that? They've done that with a couple of those kids graphic
Well,
novels.
they did the DC Superhero Girls is a show that's doing very well. and it caters to
but I
that
thought it
audience.
was like I thought one of the books was like maybe it was Damien.
Gotham.
It was,
High
Dame, it was
School.
Damien and John.
Okay. Yeah.
There's also Gotham Academy.
Yeah, but
know
that
that
was just
one.
like a couple of schoolgirls at like a prestigious
That
Gotham
book is
thing.
amazing.
It was actually
It was
really good.
far better
yeah.
than it ever should have been.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was like
There's also a spinoff where Maps, the main character of that one, finally got to become Robin. I think it's in one of the urban legends.
Oh yeah.
She finally gets to be Robin for a day. Yeah.
for a day. Your backstory isn't that tragic. I'll give you 24 hours. If something tragic happens,
It was either a day or
maybe
it
we'll
was
keep
like
you on longer.
Sign this for
it was
me.
either a day or it was like an alternate future. And
Oh,
but
yeah,
I just
yeah.
assumed it was like, no one's around. You look like an orphan child. Here's a Robin suit.
I keep these on standby.
Are you the one that hung out with Damien once?
All right, you can have a costume.
What size are you? Is this one? No, is this one good enough?
I got them all.
Why does that one have a pleated skirt? No, wait, that's for Catwoman.
Anyway, yeah, so there was a concept that they were going to take all the main characters, and you can look up concept art from the 2019 version.
Yeah.
Because that's the farthest this project ever got. But yeah, it was basically because DC Superhero Girls, which people who like to give crap for, which I find hilarious when like the crazy people in the comic book world like to make fun of like the Batman car show that's made for like 5-year-olds. And the DC
It's
Superhero
just a
Girls is made
different
for like
audience.
9-year-olds. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I get you don't like that, and if you don't know, look up the Batmobile show. There's a show about the Batmobile right
I do
now.
think the Batman
talks.
show is kind of stupid, to be honest.
with the Joker mobile.
But it's just like it's
not
like
for us.
I think it's dumb, but yeah, but it's not for us. Like I would be like I'm gonna sit there like this is crap. But I've watched 17 episodes of it.
Hold on. So it's basically Thomas the Tank Engine, but with
It's like Cars, but Batman.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's literally the Batmobile and all the vehicles.
They talk.
So
They're
there's
like sentient.
yeah.
So it's
Is that
Cars.
I want to see it.
but
Cars.
like superheroes.
Then watch it. I mean, you can be the. You
I'm
can,
gonna have to see
What would
it.
Superman be? A plane? I don't understand.
Maybe a bird?
Maybe. No, that doesn't make any sense.
So anyway, yeah. So Gotham Academy or Gotham High was going to be just another one of those DC Superhero Girls style show. So. There is a Batman No Man's Land television show that was proposed. In the mid-2000s, TV show based on No Man's Land was put into development. So mid-2000s, they were just like, anything.
Anything goes.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
Well, 'cause
mid-2000s Spider-Man
And Smallville.
Yeah.
and
was
Smallville.
huge. That was Smallville was
When
probably
was Iron Man? Was that
that was
04?
like late 2000s, I think.
Yeah, it was 2009, I want to say, or
Yeah.
2008, the
Was
first one.
that far in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But Smallville was really big for DC
Yeah,
at the
I remember
time.
that.
Yeah, so they were probably trying anything with Batman involved.
The show got shot down because it was too dark. And then the plot lines got adapted into the 4th and 5th season of Gotham.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So Gotham kind of picked
Which
up
is
all these.
also dark in the sense that nobody had proper lighting in Gotham City.
It was so bad. I like the show, but the show had. You're right. Like everyone didn't know what a light was.
Well, it was funny because they had the same issue with the first couple seasons of Riverdale. I didn't watch it after like season 2, but like nobody had proper lighting.
It's only good for
Right.
1 and 2, so you're fine.
Okay, good. Then I'm glad I dropped off when I did.
better when you
But
can't
it's like
see most of
everybody's
it.
got like I got a 5-bedroom house, one light.
But yeah, so Gotham. I actually liked Gotham. Thought it was pretty good. Now they
For
watched
what
the
it
whole
was,
thing.
yeah. I mean, it had its up and down moments.
I
really
feel
felt
like
like
what
the
they ended up
first
doing was
season or
someone
two.
grabbed all the TV pitches and they're like, Gotham.
Gordon's cool and he's got a gun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he shoots at the Riddler. It's like, guys, did you ever try this?
Batman Arkham, after the success of Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero, they greenlit a 3rd installment entitled Batman Arkham.
Which I don't think ever came out.
No, it never did. This
There
is
was-
the
there
unreleased
was-
projects.
There was more animated series movies after that, though.
No, but I think this was supposed to be a trilogy, and then they just started.
Oh, I
pumping out
see.
more.
Okay, I was going to say, it's not like the animated series
'Cause
movies
Sub-Zero
stopped,
wasn't
because
in
they
the-
kept coming out with them.
Sub-Zero was in the other animated universe. It was its own thing.
No, but they had more of that animated universe after that. There was like Batwoman came out.
Oh, no, hold on. This one got canceled because they were making Batman Beyond Return of the Joker,
Oh, okay.
which I thought was great, but
That is a fantastic movie.
yeah, I love the twist in that one. Not going to say it here, in case you haven't watched that 20-year-old movie.
Yeah. Seriously, though, go watch that 20-year-old movie. It's so good.
So the
I don't think
concept for
I've seen it.
Batman
Oh, it's
Arkham,
really good.
though, then became the video game by Rocksteady, which then turned into its own franchise. They took that concept.
Which was awesome.
I mean, Batman Arkham Asylum would have been a great cartoon, though, I think. Would have been a cool idea.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been a good movie.
Yeah.
Like live action movie.
Yeah.
Batman trapped in Arkham fighting off
That would be
pretty
awesome.
much all of his villains.
Yeah.
You would have to obviously shorten it a little bit.
Plus, it would be really cheap on the set because it's just a prison.
It's just a prison, essentially.
A second movie of The Batman, which I guess is... Oh, the TV series The Batman. I was like, that's the name of the movie.
It's like it just came out. They've already X'd the sequel.
So they were going to do a sequel to that show as
Yeah,
a
yeah.
movie, the second
Okay.
movie, and it was
I
going to
never
be
really
Batman
s-
versus Hush,
I never really
featuring
saw
Hush
that
as the main
one.
villain, with Joker, the Penguin, Riddler, Catwoman, Clayface, all planning to jump in.
I think I've seen some episodes of that show. That was the animated series after pretty much Batman the animated
Right.
series they did. I don't think I ever really watched it.
A similar film to the concept ended up coming out called Batman Hush, which did show up as a part of the animated universe.
bad though.
I didn't like that one.
No.
That was the one where they really, really changed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're getting into the last couple where they didn't even give them titles. Untitled Batman Beyond Return of the Joker sequel. There was planned to be a sequel to the Batman Beyond film, but it was scrapped due to its dark
Joker
tones and content.
comes back.
So basically,
Again.
hold on. So the running theme I see here is most of these are scrapped because they considered Batman too dark.
Yeah.
As if that's not his whole thing.
They don't even know what a light is in the current movie.
That's true. Actually, if you think about it, that movie has a lot of the same lighting issues as Gotham.
Which I will say, though, there's one scene where it's entirely lit by the gunfire in the hallway.
Yes, that was very
That was
cool.
probably,
Yeah, yeah.
for having...
Also, I don't know what body armor he's using, but damn, is it good.
I also don't know why no one ever aims for the face.
They do at the very end.
yeah.
Well, that one it was dark, so they probably didn't know.
Well, because he's always like, well, the bat draws the attention to the bat symbol, but that bat was not visible. Like,
No, yeah, that was always the excuse they gave for the yellow symbol.
Yeah.
Was that it makes people aim for
Which,
his
I mean, it
chest.
makes
Sure,
sense.
yeah.
That one's...
That's our running
little
joke right now in our Grand Theft Auto videos over on our Ben and Friends company gaming channel, where Dan and I like to play Grand Theft Auto.
Nice.
I have a jacket that has a bullseye on the back, so every time I'm getting dropped, I'm like, is it the bullseye?
Does make sense. I'm sad there wasn't a second Batman Beyond movie though. That would have
been cool, yeah. But yeah, it got scrapped because it was dark again.
You should watch Return of the Joker though. It's on
of the
HBO.
Joker.
It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
It's
I'll check that
really
out later
good.
then.
Yeah. You don't really need to. They kind of fill you in on the series, like if
Right.
you've never seen. Batman Beyond.
And recently there was talks about them kind of revitalizing Batman Beyond with a film, but it's just been in talks since 2017 apparently.
That'd be cool.
There was a spin-off Batgirl movie being talked about in 1966. It was noted to come out in 1967, but did not go past a 7-minute presentation. Batman and Robin.
Well,
was
now
going
we're
to-
getting it now. Only 40 something years.
Yeah, I
later.
know. There was going to be the spin-off with Robin with Chris O'Donnell, but it was canceled because of the critical and box office failure of the 1997 film. Batgirl Year One was talked about. It was a Bruce Timm movie.
He would have had her banging
I
Batman.
was going to say he would have had her banging everyone.
Bruce
expressed
Timm's all
interest-
about Batman and Batgirl together.
DC just straight canceled that one though. It doesn't
Yeah.
even say why.
Did he do that animated one where they do? hook
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
They did?
But in the
Okay.
animated series, he kind of alluded that
Okay.
they had a thing as well.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Okay. That's still.
There was a Nightwing cartoon show, animated series,
Somebody get me.
produced by the guys that made Legend of Korra and The Boondocks.
Are you serious?
That was
You get me
canceled.
Bob Warner on the phone. I'm gonna kick his ass.
Yeah, that
Here's
sounds
the problem.
amazing.
It was rejected for Young Justice.
See, I
We're like, oh, what's...
I mean, as
I
much
would
as
have taken the Nightwing show. I'm
as
sorry.
much as I like Young Justice, I would have taken the Nightwing
yeah.
show.
I can see why they would, because they're like, well, we can just have
We just have
Nightwing
Dick Grayson
episodes.
on the thing.
Yeah,
and eventually
but
did
I
become
would have
Nightwing.
preferred the Nightwing show
Oh,
because my
100%.
biggest complaint about the current season of Young Justice is I just want the Bat because they keep the latest season of Young Justice keeps teasing Bat Family Adventures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're,
yeah.
they're
And
like,
then
where's
they don't do them.
They're like, where's Dick? Well, he's in Gotham doing Bat Family stuff.
No.
Don't think about it.
They said, "Where's Dick?" He's currently in. They named it out. He's currently in the Bat Family. There's a civil war
yeah.
between Two-Face and the Penguin, and they're all over the place fighting that.
There's your fifth season.
And I'm like, why is that not a show or an episode? Because they were doing 3-episode arcs. Do a 3-episode arc of
That
the
would've
Bat
been
Family.
awesome.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to make it even worse, they teased it. We had like a 3-minute sequence that showed them doing things. And then they're like,
That's
so anyway,
sad.
back to Miss Martian being sad on the spaceship going back home.
I haven't watched any of the new seasons. I didn't watch any of the last season.
I will say
That
the
last
Zatanna
season,
stuff,
no.
when they got into the magic and the Zatanna, that was a lot of fun. Dr.
That
Fate and
one was
Zatanna
good.
was great.
Sure, yeah,
that was
yeah.
really good. Yeah. There was also talks about Bruce Timm doing a true Catwoman spinoff based on the animated series, but it was scrapped in favor of the Superman show.
I did enjoy the Superman animated series. I think that I don't know if I would have gone with a full blown Catwoman animated series.
Yeah.
And Superman animated series is actually really good.
We're almost at the end. We only got a few more. Tim Burton's Catwoman spinoff, if you don't know, it actually happened to that. Batman Returns would be the last film in the Warner Brothers Batman film series that featured Burton and Michael Keaton as director and leading actor. With Batman Forever, Warner Brothers decided to go into a lighter direction for a more mainstream audience in process of a family film. Burton had no interest in returning to direct a sequel, but was credited as producer, with Warner Brothers moving on development for Batman Forever in June 1993. So they decided to make a Catwoman spinoff. Michelle Pfeiffer was going to reprise her role, and the character would not appear in Forever because of her spinoff.
Okay.
Burton became attached as director, while producer and writer also returned. In January 1994, he was unsure about his plans to direct Catwoman or an adaptation of The Fall of the House of Usher. In June 6, 1995, Waters turned in his Catwoman script to Warner Brothers the same day that Batman Forever was released. Oh, good idea.
I'm gonna give it till tomorrow. They're really hooked into Batman.
In August,
Oh, man.
turning in the... Waters joked, turning in the day that Batman Forever opened may not have been my best logistical move, in that it's the celebration for the fun for a whole family Batwoman, and this Catwoman movie was not fun for the whole family.
Mostly the fathers.
And the son.
In August
and some
1995,
of the daughters.
in an August 1995 interview, Pfeiffer reiterated her interest in the spinoff, but explained that her priorities would be challenged as a mother in commitments to other projects.
Sure, yeah.
The film stayed in development hell, with Pfeiffer eventually being replaced by Ashley Judd. And then it eventually became the critically panned Catwoman 2004 starring Halle Berry.
Some of these, I don't know how they didn't go through, and yet we did get Halle Berry Catwoman.
Right?
I don't know how
Like
that
there's
got
some
through.
of like there's some of these that it's like, okay, I can understand why that wouldn't be picked. Okay, what? But there's some of those that are like sound actually really good, and then you see the stuff we got, and it's like, what?
What were
Like,
you thinking?
why-
I also
how
like the
did
whole
you-
dark thing, and then they got to Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
They were like,
And
all
then
right,
they were
fine,
like-
double down.
And then they were like, yeah, double down. Matt Reeves, just the darkest Batman movie we can possibly make.
There was going to be a direct to video. I was going to say DVD, but it was video at this time. Direct to video version of the Catwoman from
VHS.
Batman the Animated Series. But when the movie did poorly, they canceled that.
Sure, yeah.
There was going to be a direct to video Joker film.
Interesting.
It was going to be Brian Azzarello adapting his Joker.
Oh, okay.
That would have been good.
That would have been cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
And the last thing on this list, the Joker versus the Powerpuff Girls. During the initial run of Cartoon Network series The Powerpuff Girls, series creator Craig McCracken wanted to do a crossover episode featuring the Joker. In an interview, he stated, when we did the original series, I wanted to do an episode where the Joker came to town and started committing crimes. The idea was that the mayor was so excited to have a celebrity villain in town that he actually tried to thwart the girls from stopping him because the Joker was finally putting Townsville on the map. We wanted to use Bruce Timm's designs from the Batman the Animated Series and get Mark Hamill to do the voice.
Actually, that kind of sounds funny.
It sounds actually great, yeah.
Unfortunately, Warner Brothers said no.
Sad.
They were like, look, if you're going to use Joker, he's going to brutally murder people. And this is a kid's show.
So out of all of those, I think we can all agree we want that Nightwing show to come back.
And a second Batman Beyond movie.
Yeah, a second Batman Beyond movie.
I would have taken a live action Batman Beyond movie too.
I would take that.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
if
be
they did it
awesome.
right. If
I
it
do
didn't
like
look
that everyone
ass.
gives crap to the Snyderverse for how dark he decided to make the Superman-Lois relationship and the Batman whole situation. But the original Batman versus Superman was not much lighter. That one, Superman's just divorced and Batman's just losing his wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was still Lex Luthor.
That's true, yeah. Still played by Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, God.
What about you, Dan? Out of all of those, what did you want?
Nightwing show.
Nightwing show?
Hands down, Nightwing show. That sounds great, except if they did it these days, put Tom Taylor on the project as well, and I would trust that would be a fantastic show.
He's got, I don't know if you know this, but Tom Taylor actually writes like 2 shows in Australia.
Does he?
Yeah, one's called The Deep. It's a kid's show. Oh. And I see him tweet about it, and there's another one he's got coming out.
I kind of want to watch him.
Yeah.
Gotta move to Australia.
I think you can get it somewhere
Or
over
the
here. He tweeted about it once that it was
Nah.
possible to watch, but I couldn't find it, so I don't know where you would. But I'll give it to you later. Right. Anyway, Andy, final project, Nightwing, or you got something else you like to know?
I said the Nightwing or the Batman Beyond movie.
Well, that's it. Those are the unreleased projects. Let us know in the comments down below out of all of those what you wished had come out. Now, if you don't know, there's no more Batman projects listed. Like, this was it, and there's probably a sequel, but nothing's listed right now.
That is true. Yeah. Well, no, that's not true. There's Batman projects. So they got a new animated series coming out on HBO Max.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it's called The Caped Crusader. I could be wrong.
read-
There's a Penguin show.
There's a Penguin show based off of the movie.
And if we're counting cameos, Michael Keaton's going to be in like 70 movies.
True. Michael Keaton's returning as Batman again.
We're getting the-
in Flash and Batgirl, I believe.
The Flash makes sense with the multiverse. I'm curious what they're doing with the Batgirl
I don't
thing.
know how the Batgirl things because it's the same Commissioner Gordon from Batman from Justice
So
League.
are they just so I don't know what they're doing with
I
that,
don't know.
or if they're just going to be like Michael Keaton is Batman for anything from the old school Snyderverse.
Well, we also don't know what's going on in the Flashpoint movie, so it could be he accidentally pops into the Batgirl movie.
I mean,
I'll come out again here.
Sort of like a Thomas Wayne situation, which actually would be pretty cool. Yeah,
It's not a horrible idea.
But yeah, and I think there's supposed to be something else on HBO Max with Batman, but I can't remember what it is.
I know there's going to be the Kite Man spin-off from the Harley Quinn series.
I'm
which is
excited for the Green
Bat
Lantern
villains.
show. I want that to finally come out.
That'd
Someone
be nice. I doubt it's going to come out.
at the rate they like ever
We'll
since
get that Penguin show. before
ever
we get
since
Green
Ryan
Lantern.
Reynolds' Green Lantern did as bad as it did. They've just been like, oh, don't touch.
Yeah, but he cleaned that up in Deadpool, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, G Fuel. Use the code COMICS at checkout to get 10% off of your order. Also, check out our other project, Absolutely the Marvel and DC, where Dan and I talk about TV shows and movies with 2 other guys. You can also go check out our gaming channel that we just launched recently called Ben and Friends, because there's a lot of friends, so we just wanted to narrow it. Because if I was like Ben, Dan, Platt, Benji, just... but yeah, Ben and Friends, if you want to see stuff like that, and Dungeons and Ale Dan wanted to promote too.
Yeah, Dungeons and Ale.
We play D&D over there.
We do D&D.
All of 2021, we just launched like
promotion,
80
Dan.
projects. These are the ones that survived, so now we're telling you about them.
Yep.
Next week's episode, we're going to go over a list of all the projects that didn't make it.
That would actually be interesting because I could give you the backstory on the business side, why not everything you want to do works. Just because you've been told you can do anything when you're a child doesn't mean you can.
I'm still hoping for astronaut president myself. Seems unlikely,
I am president in space.
That'd be awesome.
We'll see you guys next time right here at Comics Experiment.
See you guys.